The mayhem at the Magic Kingdom has filed a permit to make a restaurant go away forever. But that permit may display that there could be a delay on the way when it comes to the Cars Land that's supposed to be filling in the memories of your childhood. Today we'll explain why it may take longer for Disney to get those walls down in Frontierland and why guests might not be having much fun until 2030. Hello, folks, and welcome back to yet another dandy day coming to you from somewhere sunny USA. And it is That Park Place, the channel that brings you all the news that should be fun. Vash Sky is ready. Jonas is pretending to be ready. We're all ready for you. Click the like button and let's dive in. Vash, let's take on a trip to an article that tells us why folks might want to plan their trips for the next few years at Disney a little differently. What do we have, Vash?
Absolutely. We have an article out of www.magic.com. Disney files permit to demolish former Aunt Polly's for Piston Peak expansion at Magic Kingdom. The most important part of this article is the date. When we're recording this is on Monday, July 28th. This was 4 days ago. And this is following the Cars Land Magic Kingdom here. 4 days ago, Pro. That's a very interesting timeline to file a permit to remove something so prominently featured here at the former, what will be formerly known as Rivers of America Tom Sawyer's Island. Please.
Well, folks, it's a beautiful scene there you can see, but you can't see it anymore because they put walls up everywhere. It says Walt Disney Imagineering has filed a construction permit for the former Aunt Polly's on Tom Sawyer Island as preparations continue for the upcoming Piston Peak expansion, the new Cars-themed land coming to Magic Kingdom. Now, Aunt Polly's, of course, is the place that you could buy lemonade and some sandwiches a decade or so ago, and it had sat dormant for a very long time, and it did look antiquated. It was from a bygone era, but we're just getting in the permit to knock this thing down. It says the permit lists Phillips and Jordan Incorporated as the contractor, a firm that specializes in infrastructure modernization and site development. The permit description is limited to a general construction, but work ultimately involves demolishing the entire area and clearing the site as part of the early development activity for the Piston Peak project. Aunt Polly's, a rarely open snack location along the riverside, remained dormant for years. Now, here's what I want to get to, though. So we've got the permit for Aunt Polly's. The problem is we don't have the permit for like the fort that's on the North Island. We don't yet have the permit for the cave, because those caves are actually, they're not real caves that you explored. They're little structures that were made for kids, right? It's playground. We don't have those permits yet. Now, why? And why were these permits not filed months ago by Disney? Well, I talked to a source about this, and folks, we're in rumor and speculation territory for a minute, but my source speculates that they believe Disney may be behind schedule because, yes, these permits should have been filed a very long time ago. There's further speculation that perhaps the transfer of power from the Central Florida Tourism Oversight District to the new one that we've got, SIFTOD to the new one, or excuse me, Reedy Creek Improvement District to SIFTOD, I get those acronyms mixed up, but from RCID to SIFTOD, that change of power from where Disney was governing themselves to now the state of Florida essentially is governing Disney, that maybe they're not really good at this yet, and maybe things got slowed down. Some of the people that were in place before were like, I don't know what we do this time, because they said these permits should have been filed a long time ago, and this may be slowing the whole thing down. What we'll be watching for, and I'll tell you the practical implication in just a minute, but we'll be watching for, do more permits come in? And how much does the Aunt Polly demolition permit, does it encompass? But we're going to be watching this. The practical implication of this is that, Disney is very slowly getting started on this. They're very slowly destroying the stuff. And so as a result, it makes us all begin to wonder, how long will it be before they can even begin building if they're this slow in tearing everything down? If it takes them 6 months to 8 months or whatever to even clear the land, then this thing is going to be out at the earliest around 2029. And that's a very long time to have Magic Kingdom exist as a construction zone.
Right. The projects in the past that come to mind, and we always bring these up because they're excellent examples of what recent Imagineering is capable of. Tron, which was an exact copy of an existing ride from Shanghai, took 6 years to put together, as did the construction walls in Epcot when they did World Celebration Gardens. That project slowed to a halt, and there were walls in Epcot for the better part of a decade while they diminished from what they said that was going to be. And eventually we got a little water walkthrough, some lights in the ground that currently don't work, and a community college's cafegimatorium that works as a flex space.
They spent $1 billion, Jonas, to make it worse. Epcot's worse today than it was back then.
Totally agree.
Yeah, it's really disappointing to see just the work output from Walt Disney Imagineering be so delayed. And 2029, I think, is a pretty good timeline, but if they're so late on getting some of these permits filed, like you said, Pro, 2029 might even be optimistic, which is a shame because just 10 years ago, back when Star Wars Galaxy's Edge was added to Disneyland, I believe that project was between 2016 and 2019, if I recall correctly. So this really should be on a 3-year time scale right here. And, well, unfortunately, that might be looking optimistic at this point. And I don't know whether it's because WDI doesn't simply have their house in order right here, whether or not they're delayed getting these permits out for any number of reasons. Maybe it is disorganization, maybe it is management. I'm not sure. But this is the most attended theme park in the world. You would think that you would want this done post haste.
Well, I'll tell you this. Okay, so think about you're looking at the Liberty Bell there. So the Liberty Bell is currently docked, in the backstage canal. They can't empty out the rivers of America until they empty out the water in the canal too on the north side. So this whole thing is going slow, and the reason they can't do that is because they either got to demolish the boat or get it out of there. And the boat's sitting back there on the water. So you can't lower the water until you get the boat either destroyed or out of there. And all of this is a giant, it's just so slow. It feels like already they're moving through quicksand. And for the people out there who said, oh no, Disney can finally, they're gonna hyperdrive this one. They've learned lessons. It was just because of the pandemic. No.
Forgive me. The word you're looking for is turbocharged.
Turbocharged.
That's the one.
Years and years of walls and turbocharging. I'm so excited. I am so excited. But anyway, I don't know if anybody out there in the comments wants to tell us what you think about this. Maybe you've got some inside information. Maybe you've got some insight. But I don't understand why the permits were delayed. I don't understand why the permits would not have already been there, already been filed with Florida before this ever started. That doesn't make any sense to me why you wouldn't have everything lined up and ready to go and hit the ground running.
This also echoes the Swift Mud process, the Southwest Florida Water Management District process, where they said, no, we want an environmental study before you try to keep moving on this thing, where Disney had already told everyone that dirt was moving. Oh, wait, we don't have approval, and we haven't actually moved dirt, but dirt is moving. Sure, Josh.
Right. Yes, shovel ready, I believe is the term.
Yeah,
I was used back in the day.
That was definitely a shovel ready comment.
Yeah, shovel ready comment indeed. It just wasn't dirt that they were shoveling. When I look at a project like this, and look, this is, there's a lot of moving parts to this. There's, it's obviously very ambitious in terms of how much land that they want to actually use for this thing. We have heard rumors that this project has changed a little bit. I suspect that even when they announced it, it wasn't fully developed, and they're developing in the process of actually filing permits and so forth. I think this is why these things are being delayed. Like, I think Disney management really, really wants to move very, very quickly on this. However, WDI just simply isn't up to the task of moving that quickly. I think this is where the disorganization comes from and where these late permit filings actually place themselves. It's going to be really unfortunate to see this delayed any further, because I think a lot of people are looking for something to be on this west side of this theme park, but c'est la vie. It's gonna, I guess, good things, maybe, hopefully good things, come to those who wait. Maybe.
You're so hopeful. You're so hopeful. I just want to hug you for your hopefulness.
But we do want to throw this to our commenters here, and want to thank you for watching this far. If you're this far into the video, likelihood is you might be willing to hit that like button, which actually helps out the channel more than ever before with the way that this platform works. We appreciate you. And of course, we'd love to get your comments down below. How many Disney visits did you have that were behind walls? Or, sorry, which part of the wall were you behind there at Epcot or any of the other establishments here? We don't want another Wallcot disaster. That's the thing that we don't want. But right now, it's looking like this very ambitious project where they're literally having to move the earth to make land. I don't have a lot of hope. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. And of course, if you haven't done it yet, please consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Tell us if you're Team Jonas or Team Vash. Do it fast!
That's the same team.
Jump into the water!
Why listen to music made by people and companies who really don't like you? Check out Vacation Radio today and prepare for all new content made by the people behind the WDW Pro channel. It's the place you need for all the music. That should be fun.
Want it all, so I give them cannonball. Yeah!
Hundreds of songs, every genre you can imagine. Listen live on YouTube and enjoy a set list that's always sunny. It's Vacation Radio.
Arizona, Arizona.
Pineapple pizza, Hawaiian ice freeze, yeah. Can't wait to be up. 3 days of you and me.
What are you waiting for? Every WDW Pro video has a link to Vacation Radio in the video description. Try it out and subscribe today.